So are you still working as a therapist or strictly as a podcaster?
I doing both. I work in a county clinic that specializes in uh, treating and assessing kids who are showing early signs of psychosis. And not surprisingly, 90% of those kids have trauma,
Hmm.
come from varying traumatic backgrounds. And early, quote unquote, early psychosis or clinical high risk is really a quote unquote new field within the last 10 years. It's an emerging field.
Oh, really? Tell me a little bit more about that
Right.
because I'm surprised to hear that.
Right. Well, traditionally, it was thought that, well, you either had psychosis or you didn't. Or you either had schizophrenia or you didn't. In a sense, it was like kind of just, we're just going to wait and see. But what they found out, and initially this started in Australia and then in Europe, they found out that individuals who were diagnosed with schizophrenia, they were able to go back and determine that there was a duration of untreated psychosis, which usually went on for about 2 years. And during that time, or actually starting that time, there were signs, there were symptoms, there were, that category actually is called the prodrome or prodromal symptoms,
Uh-huh.
or clinical high risk, we call it. Seeing shadows, maybe having unusual thought content, maybe experiencing or exhibiting suspiciousness or paranoia. Now, the thing here is that there's still insight. In other words, I see, I might think I'm having a visual hallucination, but I know it's not quote unquote real. I understand that it's my imagination.
So
So
you're saying if you catch them early enough in the process, they're easier to talk to and they can have insight.
And there's a much better chance of preventing something more serious from happening. And that could be major depression with psychotic features. On the far end of the continuum, that would be schizophrenia. So definitely if we're able to catch them in that zone, in that clinical high risk zone, they have a very good chance of not going on to be have more serious symptoms.
That's fascinating. And geez, this is my 543rd interview, not counting Wise Counsel, which was about 126. And I've never heard that before.